Now, if I were to ask you, who are you, how would you answer that question? Like if we went out to coffee and after we got through small talk and I asked you the question, hey, seriously, tell me, who are you? That's kind of a strange question, but I think you would probably respond by telling me what you do, right? You'd probably say, well, I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, I'm a parent, I'm a salesperson, I'm a manager, I'm a doctor. But what you do is not ultimately who you are. Listen to the wisdom of the great Paul David Tripp here. He says, I'm persuaded that many Christians don't have a gospel perspective on who they are. He says, this is important because we all live out of some sense of identity. For too many of us, our sense of identity is rooted more in our performance than it is in God's grace. He says it's wonderful to be successful at what God has called you to do, but when you use your successes or your failures to ultimately define who you are always going to have a distorted perspective of your identity. What he's saying is that a misplaced identity will never fulfill. It can only frustrate. He's saying if you don't have a gospel perspective on who you are, then your identity is going to rise or fall based on your performance, your failures, your circumstances, or your situations. But as a follower of Jesus, let me tell you, what you do does not define who you are. In fact, who you are ultimately determines what you do. And so if you are here this morning and if you are identifying yourself by any other standard than that which God has ultimately declared over you in his scriptures, then you are destined for frustration. Because for true and deep and meaningful purpose, your destiny must begin with your identity. And when you can truly grasp your right identity, then you can reorient your life to have real, meaningful purpose.